damn Kobe Bryant turned into the reincarnation of MJ. And not only did he turn into the reincarnation of MJ.
Kobe did everything like Mike. The fadeaway, the tongue, he went bald. When that didn't work the first year, he was like, you know what, I'm finna be my fucking self. So he grew his hair out, he started rhyming, he was rhyming in Italian.
He was like warming up at half court, ball handling. And I was like, you know, what you gonna do? In the time, I was like, yo, cosa fai qua? Ma tu sei migliore or no? He's like, yeah, I'm better than all of them.
No, you started to get to see a little more of the personality. You know, he came out with his first shoe. You know, now seeing him with the hair, he was a different cat.
It was alien-like. When he was 18, he used to be in the locker room dribbling and shooting without the ball for hours.
See how Cole was me up in the All-Star game. People don't understand that. We don't ever talk about that side of it. Cole was doing stuff to me, and I told him, like, Cole, bro, stop. What you doing? Nah, I didn't try to, like I told him, nah, you don't try to break nobody's nose, but I did try to foul him. I definitely tried to foul him in the All-Star game. I was like, I let him go. And then I hit him, and he got me, though. He got me back that next game.
Oh, he gonna get you
Well, he died. When I tell
got
you,
your ass back.
Well, I knew he was gonna get me back. That's the thing. It wasn't no shock. Cause I heard his tone when I called him. He was too calm. I was like, yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good. And we had an early game in LA. This ain't good. I can't play early games in LA. Not at 12 o'clock. The 12 o'clock?
Them were brutal, wasn't they?
Oh, man, I looked down there at the other end. I'm still trying to get loose. He got that mask on, going to full sweat. I said, he about to, Shane, you ain't guarding him tonight? Matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story to what Spo did to me. So we go to play the Lakers. This is right after that. And it's an early game. We're doing a walkthrough in the ballroom. And Spo was like, Shane, I want you to start on Kobe. So I'm like, cool. I get to kind of warm up into the game, and then I get on him, but I got to get into the game. We get there late. The bus get there late because we in traffic, battling all the way from Beverly Hills. And we get out, Spo come out at 35. I ain't got a chance to go out there and do no warm-ups. Spo come in and say, nah,
Damn.
I thought about it. No, we going right at him. D, you guard him. I say, I'm not prepared. I wasn't ready.
What does Kobe mean to the Lakers and to the city of LA?
Everything. I mean, it's like that American superhero, right? Was at the top, fell, and then climbed back to the top, finishing off as a hero. And that's what, I think, that's every, like, action hero movie we've ever seen is the Kobe story. On top of the world, fall down to come back to the top and, retire as a hero again.
I think it's amazing that LeBron came to this city and every Laker fan hated him. Like, he can't even, that's so crazy to me that he's loved that much that his fan base hates LeBron. Like, that shows you right there that he owns LA. Because LeBron is arguably the greatest player to ever play basketball. And they're just like, nah, we don't want him on the court. This is Kobe's court. This is Kobe's house. And you would think they would embrace him just being a Laker and Yeah. But no, this is Kobe's house. And people really hate LeBron for that. So you just got to understand that this is his team.
This team with Battier gone, you guys had a lot of classic matchups throughout the
years. I guess. Shane and I definitely had our battles when he was here in Houston. The most fun one was playing him in the playoffs because we beat.
Yo, I'm Kobe Bryant. I'm from Pennsylvania, went to Lower Merion High School, dominated everything. I just wanted y'all to know, nobody's gonna punk me. I'm not gonna let anyone in the N.B.A. punk me, so be warned. Vince, is that the most Kobe thing you have ever heard? And what was it like to play against these teams?
I mean, first of all, just listen to how Kobe thought in a meeting, in an introduction meeting. And I think setting the tone, letting those guys know, hey, this is who I am and this is how I think, and everybody's gonna follow suit. We know how Shaq was one of the most, if not the most dominant big men to play the game. So it was tough because they both demanded double teams, the attention. And then to add a Derek Fisher, Robert Ory, Eddie Jones. I mean, it's a laundry list. Brian Shaw, there's a laundry, Rick Fox. There's a laundry list of guys that you can name that they made you pay when you double. You either have to worry about the three-point shooter, or you had to worry about the swing to who? Kobe Bryant.
How did that go?
Cole was crazy, man. We played, just a crazy story. We played the Spectrum. And the next day they were supposed to destroy the Spectrum. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
back in the day. Spectrum was a dark, it was a great place to shoot in because it was dark and the rim is orange, so it popped, so you can see everything. You know what I'm saying? And I remember playing. I had a decent game. It's about April, so we're going home. We ain't making no playoffs. My first year, I had a better second half than first half. And I come in. I had to do some press. I come in. And, the locker room going crazy, it's just everywhere, the equipment guys picking up stuff, people getting in the shower, it's going like this. So I saw a kid sitting in my seat, and I thought maybe, somebody's son in the locker room, they got, and he just sitting there. I said, what's up, young fella? Let me get right here. And he was like, what's up, yo? What's up? And I was like, I'm Kobe Bryant, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to come to the league. And I had just walked in the locker room, so I was like, who the fuck son is? I'm like, who the fuck son is this? So he was like, no. I'm Kobe Bryant. What's up, yo? I dapped him. I was like, all right, yo, basically get your ass out of my seat. I ain't saying like that, but I was like, let me get right here. So he was like, oh, my fault. And then he sat in the, JR seat, because me and JR he sat right here. So he was just like, yo, how is it out there, yo? I'm watching it. It looks fast. He was just, his eyes he was so intense on just wanting to know the next level and what it was like. And I was like, hold on, nigga, ain't your dad in the league, nigga? Your dad. Nah, I'm talking to you. And we sat there and Flip let us talk for like 2 hours. When the bus was supposed to leave in like an hour, he let me and him talk. And I was like, for me, it was like this. I had to do this and I had to do that. He was just, wasn't even talking back, was just nodding his head like, yeah, I'm coming, yo, I'm coming. I'm telling you right now, I'm coming, nigga. Cool, I'll see you, nigga. Yeah, I'm but we both talking like in a, yeah. Then I seen him get here. Preseason, we both messed our ankles up, so we had to come and do the whirlpool. And when you go, we was playing the Forum at the time. Staples Center wasn't up yet, so we had to share like this little recovery room where you come use the hot tubs and shit. And we was just chopping. I was like, how your first year, man? And he was like, man, these niggas over here hating Eddie Jones. He was just telling me he was hot, but he was like, yo, I'm the oddball over here. They don't really fuck with me over here. Look. Watch this. I'm gonna walk all these niggas down. Watch. And then I watched him in a series in Utah where he shot like the air balls. He shot the air balls. And if anybody know Kobe, he did everything like Mike. The fadeaway, the tongue. He went ball. When that didn't work the first year, he was like, you know what? I'm finna be my fucking self. So he grew his hair out. He started rhyming. He was rhyming in Italian. You started to get to see a little more of the personality. He came out with his first shoe, and when I seen him with the hair, he was a different cat. And then we used to, the thing was in the summertime, everybody used to go to LA to go to UCLA and play. And he would be up there. So again, we're hoopers like you. We go and hoop everywhere. I want to see if everybody in the summer is working on their shit like I'm working on mine. So I would go around to Houston. I would go to Peachtree in Atlanta. I would go to Basketball City in New York, Rucker, all that shit. So I'm riding around, I'm flying around seeing who was up. So I'm doing commercial stuff. Mess around. We go to UCLA, and I saw him at UCLA. He looked totally different. Yeah, hit the weights, dunking that motherfucker. He was talking shit. He was dunking on bigs. He was just a different cat from when I seen him. You know what I'm saying? I just saw him turn into this animal.
It wasn't my time yet. This championship was yours, right? Because you had worked hard to get us to this point, right? For your whole career in Orlando and all the disappointments, and here you are. And it's my responsibility to pick that up. And then, tactically, I don't think anybody knows this, but I was filming some show at UCLA the summer before, and Reggie Miller was up there at UCLA. And I said, okay, they got a really good team there. Yeah, we might see these guys. And I said, let's play one-on-one. And we played one-on-one. I proceeded to really measure him and see what he liked to do defensively, see where he moved, see where he was weak at, what I could exploit. And so when that happened in the finals, we were here, I knew what I had. I knew what I could take. I knew what he would give me. And it was just a matter of just measuring him and going to work. So it was It's a thought out attack for him.
Damn Kobe Bryant turned into the reincarnation of MJ. And not only did he turn into the reincarnation of MJ, that same shit that I was teaching him in those step backs.
He hit that three, yeah.
He's hitting it on me. This dude was prepping for this moment 3 years ago. He is using this, what I taught him, on me and us. They win that game, they win the series in 6. Now the unwritten rule in basketball is when you're up 12, 22 seconds left, what are you supposed to do? Dribble it out, right? He's like, if I get this ball, I'm shooting it. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you are gonna shoot it, Kobe, because that's what you do. You're just out here to try to get stats.
That's what you telling him?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling him right now. I was like, yeah, a little buster. Yeah, go ahead and get your numbers, Kobe. That's what it's all about. And then we start to have words. And I was like, if he comes to me, it's on. And he took one step to me, and I body checked him right here. Yeah. Boom! So then I have him pinned on the scorer's table. Here's the thing, the funny thing about that, the day after,
you get a call.
Man, what were we thinking? I'm like, but what I tell you, he wanted to do everything like Mike. He knew our history, Mike's and I's history. I think he
wanted part of it.
I think he wanted part of that.
I mean, the relationship and the brotherhood it started in that first year. For whatever reason, I played more than him for most of our rookie season. I think a lot of it was, Kobe was positionless almost. So there wasn't really a clear position for him to play. Had Nick Van Exel at the point. I was the backup guard.
Right.
You had Eddie Jones and Sid and that, like different guys. And so what position was he supposed to play? And so in our rookie year, we spent a lot of time working out after practice, before practice, full court one-on-one battles, just trying to push each other. And that's where the relationship really formed. I think that for a guy that was as talented as anybody that we've ever seen, for us to end up being brothers the way we were, I think the only way that happened was him seeing the competitive spirit and the toughness and the work ethic and how much I was willing to sacrifice in order for the team to win. That's what he respected the most. He knew that he was going to be one of the all-time greats, and I wasn't. Right? So it wasn't about, comparing the talent, but I just think he appreciated how hard I worked at it. And I think that was always the constant common denominator between why we always got along.
He was the ultimate tester.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's going to test guys at practice to see who he can be in that foxhole with. And if you didn't back down to him, and you worked as hard as him, he respected you. But if you back down, he had no respect for you whatsoever. And then he gonna mess with you the rest of your damn time with the Lakers until he can get your ass out of there.
Literally gonna test you.
He gonna just keep testing you, But I think that was the beauty of his game. Is the fact that he would basically say, listen, I'm gonna go all out every single night. If you don't, I can't have you. I can't trust you. If you're willing to do it, I can trust you.
He didn't. Trust was big. And not just trust in terms of performance, but just like you said, trust that you weren't going to back down from the competition, right? Like, even if he knew that, okay, you're matching up with somebody that is great, Allen Iverson, John Stockton, whoever that, it wasn't about him thinking that, okay, you're supposed to be as productive as Allen Iverson in order for me to trust you. But the way he would test, teammates in practice and in shoot around was for him to find out, okay, well, if John Stockton or Allen Iverson or Ray Allen or somebody on the other team starts pushing you around like this, what you gonna do? Right. And so that was all the game of chess that he played with his own team in order to figure out who can he rely on, who can he trust. And I just feel very fortunate that I was able to earn that trust.
The Kobe story that nobody knows.
A Kobe story that nobody knows.
From your perspective.
Well, I'm sure a few people know this story, but the mass of people don't know this story. So, again, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, Kobe had never been to a beach. He ain't never seen ocean and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell him, and D. Fisher was with us as well. Travis Knight, you remember Travis Knight? These are all 3 rookies. So I said, listen, we're gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna take y'all to the beach, and we're just gonna talk basketball. You know, we're gonna talk life in general. You know,
this is after a practice.
This is after a practice. Yeah. So we all go down and we go walking around the beach, and they're just looking at the water and just chilling and just tripping off the ocean. And they're like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this. This is unbelievable. So after they get over the oh my God, type of look, then we start talking about basketball. And once we finish with basketball, and D. Fish, who we all know is how great he was, and how tough mentally and physically that he was, everybody left and it was just me and Kobe. And he just started talking about the 80s. 80s basketball. Man, B, I wish I would have played with you guys back in the 80s. Because I just love the way you guys played, the physicalness of the game, how everybody was tough. You go down the line, you get knocked down and blah, blah, blah. And we just went on and on. And I was like, yeah, you would have been great in the 80s. It would have been fun. I said, wait, hold up. I said, no, I'm glad you didn't play in the 80s. He said, why? Because my ass would have been sitting on the bench. And I said, not like playing. Dog. I didn't want to be no 6 man. You know what I'm saying? I said, so you playing in the 2000s and blah, that was perfect for you. Stay your ass there. I don't want you back in the 80s taking my spot.
It's funny what you just mentioned about Kobe being a young guy. And I was one of the guys when he was a rookie. And a lot of guys were upset at him because back then you could bring beer in the locker room. Mm-hmm. And when we got him on the team, it was like, no more beer? Yep. Oh, man, you messing everything up, kid. And I think that was kind of the thing that guys were hazing someone that kind of pushed Kobe away from a lot of guys, because back then you weren't used to an 18-year-old kid coming in the league, and he's a good 18-year-old kid. He's going to take someone's spot. And so a lot of guys were kind of, standoffish to him. But for me, I'm saying he's a part of the team. He's a basketball player. You love this guy because he's such a competitor. And that's the first thing I know. In the very first practice, we were going through a walkthrough, and he was going 100 miles an hour. I'm like, dude, calm down. It's a walkthrough. But he was that type of competitor. And that's what made everybody on our team better, because you knew if you didn't come with it that day, you was going to get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. No, we teamed up and became friends. I get a call from him. Like, hey, you want to be a Laker? And I'm a lifelong. I grew up, Magic Johnson's my favorite player. I'm from Northern California, but SoCal's adopted me. I've been here half my life. So to get a call from Kobe, like, hey, you want to come be my teammate? Even if crazy enough to F with me, is crazy enough to play with me. And I'm just like, I earned that dude's respect, and we became, more than team.
Kobe connection, both of y'all having any relationship with Kobe? Y'all both have an Italy connection?
Yeah, so Kobe and I, every time we saw each other, just spoke Italian to each other. We speak Italian. We get to practice it. And he's just, great. Just a great person. And just, so when I finally had kids and brought them to the game, I remember Kobe coming, I was walking in the back, and he was like, he stopped me. And he was with his daughter, one of his daughters, and he was like, yo, this Cynthia Cooper, she un mito. She's a mito. And the girl was like, what does mito mean? I think he means legend. So yeah, Kobe and I were close. And I remember one time at an All-Star game, he was like warming up at half court, ball handling. And I was like, what you gonna do? In the time, I was like, yo, cosa fai qua? Ma tu sei migliore or no? He's like, yeah, I'm better than all of them. And we're speaking in time. Don't nobody even know what we say. He's like, yeah, I'm better than all of them. So it's just, we're at half court, and you know how much media is around during practice. So it was, yeah.
That's dope.
The mindset of Kobe, how different was his from everybody else? It was alien. Like, when he was 18, he used to be in the locker room dribbling and shooting without the ball for hours. And then you see him practice the same move on the court. Like, he was obsessed with being the best ever. I was obsessed with being the most dominant. He was obsessed with being the best ever. And sometimes you sacrifice a lot of things, and he did. All he did was work out.
All he did was work
All
out.
he did was work out. And I knew all he did was work out, so I used to push his buttons all the time because I knew what I was going to give you. Knew if I could have somebody else that can give similar and more, I was definitely going to win. So I was always the guy that presses buttons. The audience thought that it was a personal thing, we hated each other, but no, it was me and my leadership style and what I chose to do to get him to perform at a higher level.
How would you do that? What was your style?
I press his buttons.
How would you press it? Tell us.
I press his buttons and say, this ain't your team, this is my team, little man. You might be Kobe, but I'm the Shaq. And it would just eat him up inside. And I would see that. And I would use that. Notice how out of all our interactions, Phil Jackson never intervened. You know why, right?
Why is that?
Because you got two animals going at it. And his only request was on the court, make sure you play as one. And, that's what we did.